Well, welcome everyone. Clearly, I've struggled streaming with the audio. I forgot. I'm so sorry. Where is ours? Ours is the happy jazzy loop.
Yes.
All right, so let's see. Do I have that in here? No, that's the wrong one. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. Sorry, y'all. It's in here somewhere. But anyway, welcome. Welcome back to your Wednesday, Wild Card Wednesday. Ask Us Anything. For anybody new here, hi, I'm Maggie. You may know me as Maggie, the substitute teacher from my cooking channel. I'm all about food and femininity. I love helping feminine women attract and keep the masculine men of their dreams. Lucy and I have started the finishing school for the modern woman. We love teaching women how to perfect their elegance, etiquette, and femininity. So today is y'all's day. We are back to Wildcard Wednesdays. Go ahead and put your question in the chat. We also have the link pinned to the top. You can come in camera on or camera off, and we'll take them in order. But Lucy, please introduce yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me now? All right. So I hear an echo. I don't know if everybody else would. Okay. Hello, I'm Lucy. I have mainly a channel that teaches Spanish, and I know I've stayed behind on my lessons. This holiday season has been pretty wild. But I want to say thank you, Maggie, for my beautiful Lucy top. It's beautiful. The color is perfect. I think it matches. I think I'm dark fall. My color rainbow is something. So it's perfect for me. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to continuing our weekly meetups.
Absolutely, everyone. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Mr. Option One. He is watching somewhere from the clouds, I am sure. I'll just turn a little bit more light on y'all. Let me know if it's too bright. But if you don't know, I had on like a little Marley Lily, just like a little quarter zip. I think it was pink. Several streams ago, y'all remember we did that 30-day elegance boot camp, and Lucy was like, "Ooh, what is that? It's got your name. Is that your merch?" And I told her, no, this isn't sponsored, y'all, but there is a brand, Marley Lily, that has monogrammed clothing and hats and bags and jewelry and all of that. And so Mr. Option One was in the chat, and he sent a super chat for matching Maggie Lou sweatshirt. So you all, I put a poll on my community tab, what color you all wanted. You all voted for the dark red. So let us know what you think. We are ready to take your questions. Let's see who we have in the chat here. We've got Inspired One saying blessings and peace. Hello and thank you. Jurgen is here winking at us from across the pond. Hello, thank you. UFO Kamikaze in his birthday Christmas suit. Lisa White saying good evening. Inspired One says, are those Delta pearls? No, I am not Greek. I like to say I'm African, not Greek, but shout out to those of you all that are part of the sorority and fraternity group. I did not pledge. My pearls story actually comes from the Condemned. Sometimes he's watching, but my mom gave me these set of pearls, and when I first started my cooking channel, like last year or something like that, I work from home, I work in tech, and so I had either an interview or a big meeting, and I put pearls on for my Zoom meeting. I don't wear them every day. And I would finish up work, and then I would go into the kitchen and cook because y'all know I have a cooking channel. And so I just turned on the camera and I still had on what I had for work. And apparently, Condemned loved the pearls. And so the next day I went back to my regularly scheduled program, just some simple studs or whatnot. And he came in the chat and he was like, Miss Maggie, where are the pearls? And I was like, yesterday was a big day. I don't wear them every day. And he said, you do now. And I was like, oh, okay. So ever since then, I wear the pearls for you all. And when Lucy and I started the finishing school, this is part of our uniform. We have some students in the chat. We have another session of the finishing school starting, ladies, January 6th. Enrollment is open. You can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com for all of the details. You still have the Black Friday special. The code is Black Friday altogether, all caps, for 50% off, but it is a virtual, let's see. Yes, a virtual 8-week Saturday school. We mail you workbooks so you can make it personal. Lucy and I will cover etiquette, elegance, femininity, dining, confidence, all of that. And we like to show up as your teachers, your instructors, your fairy godmothers, two older women. I'm a year older now that we're having one of these. I'm 48. Lucia shared that she's 57 because we ask our students to show up prepared as well. All right, everyone. Let's see. What is everybody saying here? All right, let's see who else we have in the top. Lisa says you like the tops. They look great. Okay, good. So you all like the Maggie Lou outfits. And I'm working on getting the artwork for y'all, but we do have a Maggie Lou meetup that we are planning for April 5th, 2024 here in Atlanta. So it's going to be open to everyone. We'll be selling tickets. We'll have Latin tapas and drinks and live music and all of that Eclipse de Luna. So stay tuned for that. We got one of our students in the chat. Tara says, good evening, Miss Maggie and Miss Lucy. You missed these streams. I'm so happy. You like Maggie Lou? Yes, we're having a Maggie Lou meetup. Monique says, hey, y'all, I'm here to learn. All right, let the questions fire away, y'all. On Wednesdays, we do these Ask Us Anythings. There's no agenda, no monologue. We are here. I also offer one-on-one coaching offline. Now I also group coaching, and then Lucy and I teach the class. So here he is, the pearls. The condemned says, stay lovely, ladies. Thank you for that. Killa says, good evening. Jurgen is giving us the thumbs up. We got Kim K saying hello. All right. So, y'all, this is your time. Let Lucy, do you have any updates? Anything you want to kick off with as we
I
wait for
wanted
the
to
questions?
ask you what you thought about that clip that I sent you on Instagram about that elegance and etiquette school for kids. What did you, and I don't know where it is. I
I'm going
started
to pull it up.
researching, but of course, work took over and life took over, and squirrel, I forgot about it.
Yes, I'm going to pull it up so you all can see. Lucy sent me a clip of a teacher teaching young girls, like elementary, maybe elementary. I wouldn't say they're middle school girls, how to elegantly eat soup the proper way. So I'm going to pull it up and I'll share it with you all. I thought it was wonderful. You know, one of the things I struggle with in this space is that I don't really think anything that I have to say is that life shattering. I really think it's common sense, but it's the way that I was raised. Lucy and I both have a traditional upbringing, but I have taken lots of etiquette classes because I want to refine for my own personal reasons. But I think it's wonderful to let young ladies know there's a proper way to do things. Okay, so Killa says Luke Casely was holding it down in the chat when I was slacking on that cruise. Shout out to Whiskey Killers. So, in case you all didn't know, last week was my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I am now 48. But we did a Maggie meetup cruise to the Bahamas, and I tried, y'all, to stay involved, but we did pre-record the last few episodes of the Elegance boot camp. So I'm glad Luke Casey was holding it down. You all enjoyed it? Okay. But I thought it was wonderful. I'm going to pull it up so everyone can see. But what did you think about it, Lucy?
About the school for the kids, I think it's just wonderful. It's time for us to start going back and teaching as young as possible that it's okay to have manners. It's okay to be elegant when we eat. It's okay to say hello, thank you, good evening when you come into a room. So I think that this is, to me, it was something that confirmed that what you and I are working on is going to hopefully going to make a dent Once we're gone, somebody else could take the reign and continue, but I think it's time to get back to basics.
Here I come. I agree with you. I found it. I think, I mean, you all know, or if you don't know, Lucy and I, we don't have daughters, but we feel very passionate about the older women teaching the young. And this is one of those things that, we talk about social media a lot, and it is a tool. It's a very useful tool. However, we're all going to leave a legacy when we're gone. So what do you want the world to say about you when you're no longer here? Ladies, gentlemen, you can do whatever you like. Y'all know me. That's an option. But you just want to be mindful that you're doing something that I think leaves things better than how you found them. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see what Lucy sent me. This is the stuff that we nerd out about. All right. So, is it this time? Oh, I don't want to. Okay, there it is. So this is an Instagram post from Embrace Girl Power, the Embrace Girls Foundation. So let me see. It doesn't let me make it full screen, but I'll get some sound here.
And bring it to you. All right? Nope. So it would be like this. Scoop away, run it on the left, then bring it to you. Let's hold it like a pencil. Scoop. Come toward me with the spoon. Away from you. Away from you. So it would come this way. Right. Away from you. Run the bottom on the ledge.
Like this.
Good. Then bring it to you.
Like this.
All right? Nope. So it would be like this. Scoop away, run it on the ledge, then bring it to you.
So I absolutely love that. And ladies, it does. It warms Lucy's heart and it warms my heart. And I just think, sometimes people say what they say. Oh, it don't take all that. I just want to eat. What's the big deal? You don't have to be so proper. Y'all know me. That's an option. But you never know when you're going to find yourself in mixed company. It could be, I always say, it's that time of year, ladies. It's the holidays. Hopefully you're spending it with someone you love. Maybe you're meeting the in-laws or potential in-laws for the first time. Maybe you're interviewing and there's a dinner component of the interview. Maybe you're meeting with a business venture or investors. Maybe you're on the Maggie meetup cruise. You just never know when you're going to be in a situation that calls for more refined dining. Do we eat like that every time, every meal? No. When you're home, you do what you want. But I do think that it's important to have the knowledge and to have the skills. So what they were teaching, I didn't have my props with me, but ladies, just so you know, for soup, and the soup spoon is the bigger one, the one with the bigger basin. The teaspoon is either for stirring your beverage or for dessert. So if you sit down at a table setting and there is a big bowl spoon, that means you're going to have you're going to have soup on the menu. So what you want to do is you want to scoop away from you, and then the rim of the bowl, you glide the basin of the spoon on there so you don't have those drips that come down. So just take time. There's so many resources there. Lucy and I are very excited. The day after our Maggie Lou meetup, we are going to take the ladies who complete the finishing school, our next upcoming session and this last session, for a celebration dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. That's what the ladies voted for, and I'm so excited. What does Killa say? We got a super chat. She says, Kid and Play are the best. Thanks for all the great content you bring us. Well, thank you. You all may know us as Lucy and Maggie, Kid and Play. Zoom to Thailand calls us Salt and Pepper. When we get older, will be the Odd Couple. I think there was one more. Oh, Laverne and Shirley. We're just two older women trying to help. Mrs. Groti Shetty says that was a lovely sight to see, especially on the internet. Absolutely. Thank you for the thumbs up. Shavelta says you personally appreciate both of us. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I'd love to know what you all thought about the Elegance Boot Camp, or what questions you all have. We do these once a week. It's totally up to you. Whatever you all want to know.
I'm wondering if we could show what the finishing school will provide for those that are interested next year.
Okay, let me pull that up. So while I'm pulling up my documents, just so you all know, the Finishing School for the Modern Woman is our flagship course. It is an 8-week live taught but privately taught Saturday school for ladies of all ages. We have ladies in their teens. We've got some people that have registered already up to 60. So ladies, if you're interested in being in a supportive environment, I'm very passionate about creating a community of women who want to be the best version of themselves, because I know it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But if you do want, for whatever reasons, personal development, relationship, business, just more feminine social circles, this is what we promote. So I'm going to share my screen and show you all what we have. Who do we have here? None other than Mr. Option One, who is the sponsor for the attire. He says those sweaters are perfect, ladies. So we have them embroidered. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Option One, for providing these sweaters, and they're nice and warm and comfy. They're kind of like fleece on the inside, so they're nice and cozy. Lisa says the Elegance Boot Camp was outstanding. I'm so happy to hear that. All right, so let me see if I can share my screen, and we'll go over a little bit about the finishing school. And then again, you all, the link to ask us questions, you can be camera on or camera off, is in the pin to the top of the chat. So we got a lot going on here. Where is our Q&A? All right. So you can be camera on or camera off, or you can just type your questions in the chat. We're here to help you. So you all should know us by now, but if you don't, Lucy and I are both content creators, and we've created the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. We love helping women of all ages be the best version of themselves. Why do we need this? I would love to know what you all think, but I always say, if you want to become more feminine, if you feel like the life that you live or the environment that you're in has made you more masculine than you want to be, harsher than you want to be, louder than you want to be, I would encourage you to consider it, because ladies, I will say this, and in a lot of the work that I've done, let me share. The world that we live in is fast paced, it's competitive. I share with you all, I work in tech, which is data driven, boy mom, so just rough and tumble. So if you do nothing, over time, you will become like a harder shell version of yourself. So just know this, whether you're in school with us or you do your own self-care, it's really important to have a routine that brings that softness back. So whether you put yourself in environments where you can be more feminine, whether you take time to really take care of yourself. We talked about that in the Elegance Boot Camp. Whether you find ways to kind of disconnect and unplug. If you do nothing, you will not like the version of yourself that you turn into. So just know that. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Croti Shetty likes them. All right, we'll go back to the slides in a second. We have Gail, my first time seeing you. He says, can you speak on long distance relationships? Well, yes, yes, yes. This is a tough one. I've never been in a long term. Of course, I've been in a long term. I've never been in a long distance relationship. So I'll answer from my perspective, and then Lucy can do the same. So I was married. I always share with you all, I was married young, met my college boyfriend at 18. He was the only boyfriend I had in college, then married after college. So I was married at 25. Loved being married. I was raised to be a wife. But I always tell y'all, I got caught up in some of that modern woman mindset. We're equal, we can do everything a man can do, all of that. And so, unfortunately, the marriage did end in divorce after 10 years. We have two boys from the marriage. They're teenagers now, so I don't regret it, but I had to learn a lot that I didn't want to be out front driving that bus. And then since the divorce, I've been in my second relationship, which is a long-term, like 12, 13-year relationship with a very traditional, like 1% kind of guy. So I have to do a lot of work to get on his program, but I've never been happier. Okay. I think long distance relationships can work for the short term, but there has to be, um, to me, all dating is for the purpose of, are we marriage or long-term relationship material? I don't really believe in anything casual because I'm a relationship girl, and to me that just wastes time if I know I'm ultimately going to want marriage or long term. I know people do what they want to. But there's just an aspect of real relationships that kind of come from the unexpected moments. You know, when you're doing long distance, the problem with that is that everything is planned and everything is perfect. You've taken time off work. You've cleared your schedule. You have plans to go out. You're dressed your best. You're on your best behavior. Like everything is just picture perfect. But we know that's not the real world. The real world, sometimes the workday is rough. Sometimes the kids get on your nerves. Sometimes you're not feeling your best. And I think for real relationships, you need to be able to see all facets of a person. So yes, long term can work, but one of the two needs to be making plans to come closer, I think. That's what I would say. Lucy, what would you say?
I agree, and I have the perfect example. My sister, she was doing Jurgen Peter. Thank you so much for the PayPal, for the $25 PayPal. My sister was she was doing her residence at Temple University, and her husband was also working, doing his. I don't know if dentists do residency. I don't know how it works, but he was working at UCLA. So they had gotten engaged, and they had to make the real commitment to keep visiting each other. But I think there's got to be that one commitment that this is going to be Uh, a committed relationship, and you have a goal at the end to make it work. If you're thinking about dating without any intention, I doubt that it's going to work as well. I think that if you're planning on doing a long term, the commitment has to be there from the beginning.
Absolutely. And ladies, you know, if you need help in any of these areas, I'm not just plugging what I do, but I do have weekly free master classes and then a monthly relationship reset, which really helps you because there's a bullseye part of it, really helps you focus in on what to look for. Because a lot of times we, ladies, like the late great Kevin Samuels said, and Lucy and I both have a Kevin Samuels connection. Men control access to relationships. We control access to relations. So, you know, just be mindful. If you don't know what a real relationship is and what to look for, you may find yourself just kind of doing all the things, but he's never established that he is thinking of you in that capacity and you're just wasting time. So that's one of the things that I feel really strongly about us older women can teach the young. But Jurgen, thank you so much for the 25, and it's actually 25 euros, so it's more than $25. I appreciate you. Jurgen is one of my scholars in Germany, so it is very late where you are, but thank you so much for always being here and for the support. We appreciate it. Let's see what
And I
y'all
am
are saying.
sorry for mispronouncing Jurgen's name. I think I said Jurgen.
I know.
Jurgen.
I always ask. And ladies, we cover this in the finishing school, so I'll just give you a little unsolicited tip. I talk about communication in the free Monday masterclass, so you can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com for all the details. But names are important. Communication is important. Some of us struggle with names, but there are little things that you can do. You can ask someone if they have an interesting name or you don't want to butcher it. You can say something like, please help me, I don't want to butcher your name, please pronounce it for me. Or I'll say, is it, and I remember asking Jurgen the first time, is it Jurgen? Is it Jurgen? And he spelled it phonetically in the chat. If you ever forget someone's name, an elegant way, instead of just talking around them like we all do, and then you ask that other person, what was their name? You can say, I'm so sorry. Please remind me of your name. That's just an elegant way to acknowledge that they've already said it, because anytime you're asking someone to repeat themselves, you're actually putting more work on them. So you can just gently apologize and acknowledge, please remind me. And then what you can do when someone tells you their name, you can either use it, like you could say, oh, Jurgen, that's such and such, such and such. Or you can ask, oh, that's an interesting, or that's a beautiful name. Is it a family name or whatever? But just something to kind of identify. Little unsolicited etiquette tip for all of us. And Mrs. Crotty Shetty says, yeah, you notice that about yourself. I think you're talking about how we just get hardened as we get older. And as two older women, ladies, this personal development, it doesn't age. You can always get better. This is a skill, whether you're, 17 or 60, like we have students that are, you can always improve. So that really encourages me. Let's see. So we talked about the long distance relationship. Killis says, I was driving and couldn't comment when you guys were discussing being truthful. It reminded me of Judge Judy's favorite saying, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I need to do my color like Lucy so I can be cool. I'm not cool. I'm the biggest nerd there is. Oh, it's beautiful. No, I love it. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Jurgens, yes, you're right. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying in the chat. UFO Kamikaze says, great suggestion. I'm horrible with remembering names initially too. Yeah, happy to help. Absolutely, we all have strengths and we all have things that we, struggle with. That was it. Absolutely, Mrs. Crotty Shetty. Yes, we nerds are cool. Absolutely. All right, so while you all are coming through with the questions, I'm going to go back to the slides to tell you a little bit more about the finishing school. If you or somebody that you know would benefit from joining Lucy and me for 8 weeks, it's January 6th through the end of February. It's going to be Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 12 p.m. Pacific. We will teach it live, but it won't be a live stream. It will be a private Zoom. I'm starting to do more. I'll always be here on YouTube, but I am starting to do more offline because I've noticed that a lot of ladies listen in on the live streams, but the actual help is getting them to feel in that safe space and opening up for the coaching. You get your workbooks shipped to you, and the sessions are recorded for lifetime access, as well as all of the guest speakers, and I have a pretty vast network. Our students get access to that for life. All right, so let's see what else we have in the school while you all are thinking of your questions for us. So we talked about your femininity. Make sure you prioritize that. The elegance is important if you want to show up as more refined. I mean, you can be a bull in a china shop like I used to be, but that probably doesn't speak to your personal brand the way you want it to. And then if you want to learn how to have better etiquette, this is something that I absolutely love studying. And one of the things that we tell our students, etiquette is really about the protocol that fits a certain situation. So just like you saw the teacher showing the young ladies how to properly eat soup, there is dining etiquette. There is business etiquette. There is social etiquette. There's different protocols. So we love talking about that and learning. What does Jurgen say? I love the idea of helping the children. Lucy and I have talked about, or somebody had asked about the finishing school for younger ladies. I don't know if Lucy, you want to say anything about what we have cooking up?
We are thinking about writing up curriculum for the younger generation. And again, the curriculum it's a little different than what we're presenting now because again, when you're older, there are different situations that not necessarily the children are going to encounter. So I think it's actually it just reminded me. I need to start looking into it and see if we could put something together as a test to see what our audience thinks, and maybe we could present her in the future. But it's my mic is soft. Okay, hold on just a sec.
I thought it was me. It seemed really low.
Okay, but I just don't want to scream.
No,
Because,
don't.
okay, right. What about now? Does it sound better? All right. Because sometimes I hear the I rewatch, and for whatever reason, something is happening with this system where it's picking up my voice from somewhere, but not the place that I want it to pick up. So I get a bit frustrated, a little bit. So yes, we need to work on curriculum that will fit younger audiences, and we would love to start teaching them young.
Absolutely. So at this point, the finishing school for the modern woman is available for ladies of all ages. We have talked about having the finishing school for the young woman, also the finishing school for the mature woman, and taking the curriculum that we put together and tweaking it a little bit for the audience. We've also talked about having a book, like a tabletop coffee table book for you all. We are having the Maggie Lou meetup where we're going to bring the ladies that complete the program. Mr. Option One, since he's in the chat, a very generous donor, has agreed to provide plaques for all of the students. They get a digital certificate when they've completed, but they'll get plaques, and we'll have like a private dining experience where we can teach them in person what we've learned virtually. So we're just getting started, and we are really committed to this work. So we appreciate you all being here. What does Killa say? What advice would you guys give to young women that have tethering men? Men that seem interested but never commit. I was having a consult earlier today. I remember this used to be a big problem in my younger days in my girlfriend circles. All right, ladies, let's get real. Auntie Maggie's just going to tell you like it is. You can't change him. And just like Kevin said, men control access to relationships on the positive side. Every positive side has a negative side. Ladies, if he has not established a relationship with you, you do not have a relationship. Even if you spend time together, even if you do things together, even if you get along, even if all the things happen, a man who is on his purpose, we've said this, but I'll repeat, a man creates the life he wants for himself in absence of you. That could be a man who's on his purpose. That could be a man who stays in the basement smoking and playing video games, but he has created the life that he is comfortable with. Then from that position, he selects a woman to complement him in that life. Your job as a lady is to observe the life that he's created for himself and see if you can, yes, I will say it, hitch your wagon to that. Do you want to be a part of that vision? Do you see yourself being a support system or a helpmate to him? And again, I speak from the traditional sense. If you want to do something different, that's fine. There's lots of outlets for that. So what you cannot do, ladies, and what you will not do is change him. So sometimes we think just being around is going to give us the outcome that we want. It is not, and you will end up more frustrated and damaged. But you have to listen to him, ladies. If he hasn't said it, that's also an answer. I'll tell you all a little story. You've heard it before, but when I was young, I met a boy that I fell in love with, and I thought, oh, we come from this small town. We're gonna, get married and have babies after high school and all that. And he was like, no, I want to live my life. I want to go off to college and be a frat boy and do all these things. And I was like, but all these years? Well, the happy ending is that life brought us back together after divorce, but only after he has become the man that he wanted to be on his own. Now, without me saying anything, without me nagging or trying or begging or pleading, he is everything that I ever wanted. But he had to do that on his own. And now he's ready for the type of relationship that I've always wanted. So, ladies, that tethering thing, which is a new term for me, you are not going to change him. And this is what I talk about in the relationship reset. Ladies, if you know you want relationship, you should exclusively date men that are also relationship minded. That way you at least have the baseline set, and then you can work on the details. Do we like each other? Are we compatible? All of that. But if you are relationship minded and you are dealing with someone else who is not relationship minded, you are wasting your time and adding more damage to someone you do find later on who is relationship minded, who didn't do this to you, you did it to yourself. So I get really fired up about this one, ladies, but there are no guarantees, but your odds are better if you find a man who's already there on his own. All right, Lucy, what would you say?
I agree. And remember that that time that you're spending with that unable to commit man, you could be spending it to that man that has been watching you and has been there trying to figure out how to get in the door. And you're wasting your time with this man that hasn't shown you. Because again, words, if the words don't match what they say, what they do, it's just words. Watch what they do. Do they spend time with you? Do they spend do they if they tell you that they're going to call you at 5 o'clock, do you get that call at 5 o'clock? Those actions that tell you that his word means everything. That's what you should look after. And unfortunately, there are women that they are told or they're not told that they're going to be their long-term significant other, and you stay there for situationships for years when you could have spent that time developing yourself, going to a finishing school, going to maybe a mental health counseling, and taking care of yourself to then be ready for the right person to be there and to put you as part of their lives.
I love that. I would apologize, but I'm not going to. I get really fired up about that one, ladies. So thank you all for allowing me. That is more of what I do offline because sometimes we need to be told. I do want to respond to something that Jurgen says, and I'm going to drop the link, Jurgen, if you want to chat or if you want to add some more color commentary. He says, but it also depends on the behavior of the women. On its face, respectfully, I disagree. If I'm understanding you correctly, I really believe, and ladies, you have to understand this as well, because my man, this is the way he talks to me. I don't know why y'all think if we've told you we don't want a relationship and you keep coming around, we're going to say, no, 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 put your clothes back on. No, no. We agreed. We're not going to do this anymore. I don't want a relationship. We've already had that conversation. No, no. Ladies, they're not going to do that. It is human nature to want the path of least resistance. It is human nature to be like, oh, just stumbled on a pile of gold right here, right? You have to have some self-respect for yourself. Now, look, if you want a hot girl summer and give it away, fine. I don't judge anybody. But if you really want a relationship, you have to be more discerning with what you do with your time and all of your other things. I think you should only give that to a man who's worthy. I don't think you should be a prude, but I'm just really trying to understand what Jurgen is saying as far as it depends on the woman. I think a man who is tethering is staying around because the woman is allowing it. I just, full stop. I just really think so. And ladies, this is what I teach. It doesn't make him a bad person and it doesn't make you a bad person. But I'll use myself. I know this about myself. I am a relationship girl. I am going to want to nurture and cook and serve and do all these things and love the way that I show love. But if I give that to someone who is a proclaimed forever bachelor, I'm going to get hurt. And he's going to be like, I told you I didn't want anything serious, but you keep sending me these to go plates. Okay, I'll keep eating it. So it doesn't make him a bad person. It just means that you guys don't have the same relationship goals. So you have to know that. And I really work with ladies to look at these things objectively. But the problem is you get in it, you get feelings, you start doing all the things, and then you're trying to disassociate from something that you've already tied yourself to. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can book a free session, teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. But Lucy, what do you say about what Jurgen said about it depends on the woman?
Well, women can be really persistent when it comes to trying to get into that man's life, no matter what, how that man has said no, thank you. And in fact, I'm seeing this in a very in my family. I have a young nephew that he's enjoying his life on his own, and there is this young lady that keeps coming to him because she thinks that he's going to change what he's told her many times. And he said, I'm not ready for a relationship. I am young. He's a civil engineer, so he's going to school. He's focusing on getting established. But she comes over, she does what she wants to do because she thinks that he's going to change. And I was having that discussion with her and my niece. My niece was telling him, of course, a young 20-year-old modern young lady trying to give a man counsel, and it was at the table, and it was Thanksgiving, and I was trying to like do my best to not create any issues. So the good thing is that my brother-in-law stepped in, and he told him something in his ear, and the discussion stopped. But it was ready to kind of like blow up because she's not supposed to be telling him how to behave. Those are things that, women's and men's minds are not the same. So anyway, so it's happening. Women can be very persistent, and men, I feel bad for you men, because sometimes biology, you can't help it. You can't really help it, and I feel bad for you. And if the cake is right there and it's being offered, why not have it? So again, some women can be persistent, and and they don't realize that that time being persistent with that person that has told you many times that it's not going to happen, you could be using it, learning a new language, learning how to drink tea, learning how to appreciate the beauty of the world. So just again, I think with Jurgen, I think that that's what he meant. It was, women can be persistent, and men, sometimes they can't help themselves. If the gift is right there, they're going to take it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm going to come to what you all are saying in the chat. I'll just say one more thing on my rant of this. Ladies, the other thing you want to be mindful of, if you are spinning your wheels trying to drag a man across the finish line who has either shown or even worse said that he's not interested, what does that look like to the man who could seriously be vetting you? You have to come up out of your situation and realize men are always watching. And a man could count you out because he's like, oh, she's with so-and-so. And the so-and-so that you think you're with doesn't want a real relationship with you. So really be mindful of how you spend your energy, ladies. It's got to be mutual, and the man has to lead if you want something traditional. The other thing that I'll say, I love what Lucy said about what happened at the family table. I don't know if you all picked up on this, but the woman was going off trying to convince this man. Another man spoke to the young man quietly, and he stopped. Ladies, I am telling you, and I will say it until I am no more, we are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. As a boy mom, my ex-husband and I, we co-parent really well, but I've shared with you all, being vulnerable. The boys live with their dad and they come to visit me. On paper, I have custody, but boys respond to men differently. I can say something, they will walk right past me like a piece of furniture. And their dad, who is my ex husband, will say, "You heard your mother," and they move. Why? I don't know. But I am not going to fight nature. I am not going to fight biology. That is what they need. So, ladies, if you think that nagging and that persistent whatever is going to wrestle a man down to the ground, number one, it won't. A masculine man will not allow you to. And number two, if he changes anything because you nagged him so much, he will silently resent you for it. Either way, it's not what you want. All right? Oh, sorry, I just had to get all of that out. So Mrs. Crotty Shetty says, "Oh, so astute. I'm glad you all are loving it." So Jurgen agreed with me before he did it. Gail says that's a good word. Thank you so much, sir. My first time seeing you. Mrs. Crotty Shetty, her head is spinning because I'm over here spitting and popping. Gillis, who asked the question, said it was a huge waste of time. I think some actually like the drama and frustration. That's a good one. Ladies, my man calls us agents of chaos. It's so mean. But we do, ladies. We like the drama. Like those of you women who have a good thing, who say he's boring, when you get older, you will appreciate the boring. Men are stable, they are stoic, they like structure, repeatable processes, they're very analytical. I can't even. Let the balloon, you know how you let go of a balloon and it's,
Pretty much.
what do you want to say about the drama, Lucy?
I absolutely agree. And again, that drama and frustration is just another indication for that man that is saying no, that they're going to have that drama and frustration if they decide for whatever reason to change their minds. So again, it's just it's that behavior, and instead of looking at the drama and frustration that they have and that they create, maybe they should be talking to someone about some of the maybe childhood learnings that they had that gets them into that situation. Because it all goes back to how we grew up, what was modeled for us in relationships, and how we learned how to deal with conflict and with life itself.
I agree with you. All right, Jurgen. Hopefully, we're still friends. Kim K says, "Excellent advice, Maggie. I wasted my time with a guy who was not marriage minded and had a lot of undoing to do after it ended." I think this is the biggest thing that a lot of women don't realize until they've made their bed and they don't like the bed that they're leaving in. You ladies, not only are you wasting time, but you're putting yourself in a situation that you're going to have to unravel. And unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of time. Men can. They can just, be bachelor and then wake up at 35 and they're just like, "Yeah, I think I'll start dating women one at a time." You're like, "What?" But yes, unfortunately, when we put ourselves in those situations, it's a lot harder to undo, like Kim K says. So just be very careful what you attach yourself to, because again, we are not men. We are very emotional and we do connect and we have bonds and we attach ourselves to someone. So no guarantees. It may not work out. Lucy and I are both divorcees, but now second time around, very happy. But make sure that it's something that you both were at least trying and it didn't work out. Not that you are, "I'm going to make this work." And he's like, "I keep trying to tell her and she won't listen." That, then on top of the embarrassment and the shame, don't do it to yourself. Would you add anything to that, Lucy?
Not at all. It's perfect. It's just it just for women is one more emotional battle to fight when you could be have already resigned that this is not going to work and move on to fix yourself and find yourself and maybe even change environment and just and realize that some relationships were not meant to happen.
I love that. So we have Lomiji, my first time seeing you here, asking, can you give some tangible tips for being a feminine apps asset? Absolutely. All right, ladies. So I'll take a stab at this and then Lucy can. Number one, you want to make sure that you have the basics covered, which means you need to study men in general. This is a big thing that Kevin Samuels said, that a lot of us, we don't understand men. If you are surrounded by women who tell you what men want and what men need, verify that with actual men. All right. So I love, whether it's men that I work with or the barbershop or whatever, not now, but when I would have questions about raising the boys, if I had let the women in my life tell me, I would have had the boys tested and done all this stuff. But the men were like, I set the backyard on fire when I was 5. They'll be all right. And I'm like, listen to men, observe men, ask the men. Then that will help you with the basics, right? Of course, the fit, feminine, friendly, all of that. But ladies, you really need to study the man that you have or the man that you want. If you are going to be a helpmate to him or be that feminine asset, you need to be strong where he's not, right? So if he's going out there to slay and drag it back, does he want a wife that's going to be like nurturing, like, wife and mother? Is he more of an executive and he needs kind of like that first lady? Is he a traveling, I don't know, military or whatnot? He needs someone to keep the home fires going. Men are different and their needs are different. And you know what? It's okay to ask. Another thing you can do, pay attention. One of the things that I do, ladies, if I do something and my man likes it and he compliments it, I'm doing more of it or I'm doing it consistently. Likewise, if he's like, yeah, I don't really like that, it's not even a conversation. I'm not arguing. I will cut off a person, a social media, or whatever it is. So that feminine asset, I know it can kind of seem like, what does that even mean? But you are an asset to what his life already is. Another reason why you only need to date someone who is fully in his manhood, fully independent, has a purpose, can articulate that purpose to you, and can tell you, I need a woman to do A, B, and C. And then you do that. Listen to him the first time. That's what I would say. Lucy, what would you say?
Mine is going to be a little shorter. I think that, there's assets and liabilities. Don't be a liability for him. One of the liabilities that we see is that we talk too much. We share too much with, no, not like Maggie. She shares wisdom. But, if you're in a relationship, do not talk about your relationship to other people. The things that happen between you and your husband or your significant other is between you and him. So again, listen to the men and what they're saying. Men are saying, we don't like you to dress like you're going to be on the streets. We prefer modest women. We prefer the least amount of makeup. We don't want, eyelashes that look like, bats on your eyelids and, all these nails. Because again, they see those nails. How are they going to hold a baby with those nails? So again, listen to the men. They are telling you exactly what they want from you. And, you can't be fake feminine. You gotta feel it inside because it's in all of us. We just have to learn to appreciate it and show it to the men that we want to have a life forever with.
Yes. And so, in the essence of keeping it short, no, I love that. Y'all know I can go on and on. We have men in the chat. I would love to hear. We're going to keep going down the chat. Men, if I may humbly ask, if you're watching, if you're ninja watching, that's fine. But if you would define what a feminine asset is to you or give an example, ladies, you want to make sure you customize yourself to your man or the man that you want. But I would love the men that are in our community to share. Mrs. Crotty Shetty says, you ladies are so smart. Thank you, my dear. We try. Thank you all for liking the live stream. And Jurgen is telling us he does not want a modern woman, and we don't want one for you. Thank you, Jurgen. Bill H., he says, hi, Maggie and Lucy. The days of debutantes and balls are long gone. With that said, Does it make a woman too forward for her to ask him out for a date? I feel another rant coming. Sorry. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Um, yes. It's no. Don't do it. What is the question? Let me answer it correctly. Does it make a woman too forward for her man to ask him out for a date? I wouldn't do it. However, ladies, there are ways in a feminine way to shoot your shot, in a feminine way to let a man know that you're available, in a feminine way to say that you're interested. You know, we are dealing with the consequences of our own behavior. Men will tell you now they don't approach for multiple reasons because we don't know how to act. We don't know how to be discreet. We don't know how to politely decline without shaming somebody. Um, I'm always thinking relationship. And so for me, the purpose of dating is to determine if this is a match for marriage or long term. And because I expect a man to tell me, I want you as my woman, I would expect him to have been observing me and then say, I like what I see so far. I would like to get to know you better because we are dating for the purpose of marriage or long term. I am not in a position as a woman to ask a man out and then hope he feels the same. I would exclusively date a man who I know already feels the same because he approached me. Now, I know things are different and people are younger and whatnot, but ladies, I've been that one that got out in front and was barking orders and coming home and saying, yeah, we need to do this and we need to do that. My ex-husband was like, I don't work for you. So take it from an older woman who has bumped her head and skinned her knee. You don't want that pressure on you. So what you can do, ladies, I'll give you some tips. Eye contact, smile, compliment him. You can even be coy, like, your girlfriend's really lucky to have a man like you. Or your wife is incredibly lucky to have a man like you. Smile, eye contact, be complimentary. I think the biggest thing, ladies, is you've got to be consistent. One of the things that hopefully you all know by being in these spaces, men are always watching. They're always observing. By the time they've asked you out, they have been watching you. They have asked their peers about you. So you're not going to, like Lucy said, that fake feminine, you're not going to fool anybody. So I wouldn't do it. I guess people can do what they want to, but if a man doesn't ask me out, he's not the man for me. I'll tell you, ladies, my guy, he said, when we reconnected, can I call you sometime? Like today after work. And I was like, what would you say, Lucy?
I agree. Masculine men know who they want to spend their time with. Um, we as women, we don't take rejection well. So if I ever try to shoot my shot and I was turned down, it would absolutely break my heart. So to begin with, men, unfortunately, they're so used to it because, we women have been really mean to them. And I've seen it. I have seen it, and it breaks my heart on how the men are brave enough to go and then they're put down in such a terrible way. But anyway, that's another thing. Men are the ones that chase. We are the receivers. We say yes or no. And if you're sending choosing signals, if you're flirting, if you're nice, if you're your feminine woman that you were raised to be, they will know. They will know you're the right one to ask them out. That's exactly how it happened with my husband. We were, he worked for one side of the building. I worked for another side. We would look at each other, and one of these days, he sent me this email saying, I found you, that you seem to be really nice, after he had done all his research. And then he asked me out by email saying, if this is in any way inappropriate, please forgive me. That get to me, I said, I'm in. And ever since then, we've been together. So they will tell you, they will know, they will choose you as a potential significant other when they know it's maybe the right person to go out with.
I love that. So, Bill, hopefully we can still be friends, but let me do a little bit of coaching. Ladies, you need to know how to politely decline. Men ask, you either accept or you decline, but you never shame them, you never put them down, you never embarrass them for so many reasons. One, it's just bad manners and poor home training. You just look like you were raised by wolves, which you don't want. Also, other men are watching and men talk. Ladies, the world that we live in, everybody is connected. So you have a reputation whether you realize that or not. And if you want to get that win or that score or that dig or make a man do like the walk of shame in front of all your girlfriends and you're laughing at him, your time is coming, believe me. So what I would advise, compliment sandwich. I use this in my teaching. Good thing, bad thing, good thing. So thank him for asking. Oh, I'm so flattered. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But unfortunately, I'm spoken for or I'm not available. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a no for me. But I wish you all the best. I know you're going to make some girl very happy one day. Say it in a way that makes sense for you, ladies, but do not do damage with the rejection. You can politely decline, stay elegant, stay graceful, because you never know. I mean, Kevin Samuels used to say he would leave his exes better than he found them. There's, maybe a connection or mutual or business. You just never know. Don't be a jerk. All right, don't do that. Boy mom in me gets riled up. Killis says, some of the men will say they want everything the woman wants, but never act on it too. I think we should focus on their actions as well. Absolutely. That's an adult thing to do. I don't want to say I don't care what anybody says, but I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you say you're going to be somewhere, like, of course, unless there's an emergency, like, I don't know. I just come from a time when your word used to actually mean something. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'll probably hurt myself trying to do it, So I have to really like rein that back and not overcommit. But a man of value, whether he's high value or working man or Henry or whatever it is, his character won't let him just be flaky. That's what I say. And if that's a pattern, I would argue he's not ready for a real relationship, because my mind is already thinking 5 steps ahead. When there's a health problem, when there's a family problem, when there's a money problem, like, is he going to say, oh yeah, babe, we got it taken care of, and it's not taken care of? I don't know. What would you add to that, Lucy?
Oh, wait, I think. Thank you so much, Kim K, for the 1999 is a super chat. I think it's called super chat. Thank you so much. We love to have these discussions. And what I would say, I don't think I have anything to add to what you said. I think a man will let you know whether he's interested or not, bottom line.
Absolutely. And Mrs. Crotty Shetty says they don't listen. I missed the context, so I don't know who that was for. Remind me, but hopefully we're putting our drop in the bucket. I know not everybody wants to hear this, and that's fine. There are other channels, but we are not changing our narrative, because once you get to 48 and 57, it's kind of like life happens to all of us, ladies. And this time of year, especially with the holidays, we really want you all to win, and we want you to be in loving relationships with people that you really admire. So don't wait for a New Year's resolution. If you need to make some changes, make them now. Who do we have here? Richard Boggs on Facebook. I did a collab with him, my pampered chef consultant. He says, ladies, keep up the good work. /word. I've told many people about your podcast, and many women say they need a network show. Well, so much for Talk a Lot, Maggie. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Let's see what else y'all are saying. Clue Channel says that is right. Thank you. UFO Kamikaze says you had to end a business relationship with a female customer or client for that same reason. Was this the one about she wanted more and he had said it's not?
I think so.
How embarrassing, ladies. And I don't know the details, but that would have been a business relationship or a service or a client. And now, because you were bullheaded and didn't listen, you lost not only a relationship opportunity, but a business opportunity. It's not worth it. There's too many men that actually want a real relationship. Why would you waste your time? That's what I say. Killa says a cousin of mine did this. It was so sad. He strung along his girlfriend for 10 years and she was almost like family. He broke up with her and got a new girlfriend and made her a wife within a year.
That happens all the time.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I would say, ooh, do I want to say this? The wife had boundaries that the girlfriend didn't. Would you add anything to that, Lucy?
I agree. The wife offered things that the girlfriend unfortunately didn't, or maybe the girlfriend offered everything without understanding that the guy, the cousin, did not want everything. She could have given him the stars and the moon, but he didn't want them from her.
Yes, ladies. So, and this is coming from someone who's in a long-term relationship, but it's different once you've been married and have kids. Everybody's got to do what's best for you. But even in my situation, I wanted that first time around and he didn't. He said, no, I want to live my life. So I could have held on to his ankles and said, take me now. Or I could have left, cried my little tears in the pillow, and then did what I did, find someone who was older, who was ready for marriage, got married, enjoyed being married, gave it my all, had 2 sons, and unfortunately it didn't work out. So now, second time around, yes, I'm looking forward to sailing off with the sunset, but I've shared with you all, my man has said there are minor kids involved. We're not doing this big blended, family. So we have to wait for the kids to be up and out, and then I will have my time. Again, he set that standard. I don't get to say, well, I want it this way, Burger King. No. So that being said, ladies, I just keep coming back to it's a waste of time, and a man knows if you are wife material or not. And a man knows in less than, I'll say, after 2 years, a year, maybe even 6 months, if he's not vetting you and moving towards, not just saying, but moving towards a future that includes you in it as a wife, then you are a placeholder. That's what my man calls it. I know it hurts. You were the placeholder, because what happened in that situation, he saw a woman with all the wife qualities and he was like, ooh, I need to lock this one down. When a man sees what he wants, he moves with urgency. What you want is for it to be mutual. But if you want him and he doesn't want you, you're going to just keep spinning your wheels. So I could go on and on and on. Ugh, that's a tough one. Jurgen says universities are one of the biggest problems when it comes to feminists. Well, shout out to academia. But yeah, that's where it happened to me. And I love school, but it's not just about knowledge and learning. There's a lot going on college campuses that doesn't promote marriage and family, and it's just the unfortunate truth. So we're not here to poo-poo on anybody, but ladies, especially those of us with our big degrees and our big jobs, you have to know that the environment where you are successful outside there does not equate to success at home. So you're going to have to be able to code switch, check the ego at the door, and turn that around. I'm not saying don't go to school. I'm not saying don't get the big job. All of that is fine. I've done all of it. But trust me, thinking that you're going to just slap that onto a relationship and a man is going to love that about you, you are wrong. What would you say to that, Lucy?
And you also need to maybe change your circle of friends. Change it to, if you want to be married, if your goal is to be married, have children, meet women that are married with children so they'll also share the not so great things that happen in a marriage. Marriage is not always, he's going to give you the world all the time. There's ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and life happens. So I think that for you to understand what it is to have a successful marriage, you can't be friends with your single friends because they're going to give you a completely different view of what they think a relationship is. I think Kevin Samuels used to say, single friends keep women single, or single women keep women single, and that's exactly it. They give you a different perspective than what a married, established woman with children or not would give you. It's a totally different way of seeing life, and it's a more realistic way of seeing life. These single women are living their lives, doing their thing, and then when they get to 33, 34, 35, they see themselves alone, and then they want their single friends to stay with them in that group and they would probably give you wrong advice because they don't want to lose you from the single friend environment that you're in. So I think it's, if you want a traditional married family environment, you have to watch those traditional family environments and get counsel from them.
I agree, ladies, and that's a tough one, but I hit my head against that corporate wall trying to have my Susie Homemaker conversations with Boss Babe and bad B women. And again, this is not putting anybody down. It doesn't make them a bad person. But what I tell my consults is, ladies, consider the source. If someone is coaching you on relationships and they don't have the type of relationship that you aspire to have, you could either say thank you, no thank you, or just filter it through that. Because a lot of times, women kind of project like this, oh yeah, I'm great being, whatever, I can travel the world, I can do this and that. I think the way we are created, we ultimately want real relationships. I think we all want love. And I know that looks different for different people. I always speak from the traditional sense. And especially, like I said, this time of year, just be careful letting women that are miserable keep you from your happiness if they're going to send you down a path that is not what you truly want. I had to push it all down and just be like, yep, I'm just going to be part of the corporate machine. And I still work. This is my space now. But trust me, a lot of the naysayers now wish they had prioritized relationship. Ah, the Clue Channel says it comes from the tone of a dominant man. I think we were talking about your Thanksgiving table. My dad is 71 and it still works on me. I'm telling y'all, when Mufasa Thane comes through, or even at Thanksgiving at my house, the boys were here, Nana and Papa were here, my parents are over 70, and Alex was like, I'm not talking about that, or, kind of yelled back at me. Dad put his plate down and was like, what did you say to your mother? And I was like, oh dear. It was like, can't we all just get along? We got the parade, I got the turkey, but no, he had to yank his chain. And ladies, do not ever get in the middle of that. Do not stop a man from checking a boy. Believe me, you need him to have that experience. All right? Gail says, thank you for great insights. Now it's time to say goodbye. How is it needed to be said pleasantly? Okay. I'll give you my thoughts and then Lucy, you can chime in. This is a tough one. Breakups or saying it's not working or goodbye. It's never easy. It's hard. It's heartbreaking. If you were in a real relationship and for whatever reason it didn't work out, I would say, number one, this is a conversation. This is not a text. This is not an email. This is not ghosting. This is a conversation. Number two, it needs to be face to face. You need to be woman enough, I'm assuming, if you realize that you do not have reciprocated feelings, or you don't see this going past a certain point, you owe him the dignity of a conversation. I would still do the compliment sandwich. I would probably say something like, "You have been incredible," or "I have been so lucky to spend this time with you. And it hurts me to have to say, I just don't see us getting further in the relationship," or "I just don't see you as a husband candidate," or whatever it is. But you have to say it and it has to be clear. And then the bottom of the compliment sandwich, "I wish you nothing but the best. I know there is a woman that's going to make you incredibly happy, or a good wife, or whatever it is." But you have to say it, and you have to deliver it gently but clearly. And ladies, none of this back and forth. None of this, like, once you say it, you need to be ready to exit with grace and no confusing messages. So think long and hard about it, but deliver that message. And that's what I would say, as pleasant as you can. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree, and remember that men are not the ones they're not good at saying goodbye. So that might be your option. To say goodbye first is going to probably be maybe something that will make the separation easier for both of us. He might just say, "I agree, we weren't doing well. Best of luck," and that's that. So I think that, yeah, the sandwich thing, something nice, say the facts, why it's happening, and a goodbye, and you break it off like that. It shouldn't be something that is, drama filled with just all of these emotions, because things could go really badly if you do all that emotional nonsense that it shouldn't. You probably both know that your time together has reached an end time, and both agree that it's time to go your different ways.
I love that. Hopefully that helps, Gail. Darika says, "Not agents of chaos." Yes, he calls us agents of chaos. I cannot tell y'all how many times I'm like, "Babe, you are not going to believe this." And I go through all the 10 ways and Sundays and Bandcamp, and then this happened and he said and she said. And he will literally look at me and be like, "That man ain't ready." And I'm like, "There's so much more I have to tell you. You don't understand." And then this and then that and all that. He's like, "Still ain't ready." Y'all, when I tell you, he is a simple Southern man, and I'm just sitting there blinking, fast and slow. Men, someone said their brains are like waffles, compartmentalized, little squares. Everything has its place. We women, our brains are like spaghetti. We're all over the place, intertwined. So I laugh at it now. In the beginning, I used to just get my feelings so hurt. But he was like, "Y'all are just agents of chaos." Yes. Lucy knows we're chaotic, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So ladies, that's what they think of us. Gillis is laughing. We got Veronica in the house. She says, "You love this information. You needed this channel like yesterday." Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Lucy and I are here every Wednesday, usually about 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. We do this just as a way to give back. Of course, we have our courses and all that stuff. Y'all can go linked in the description. But we do want to give back and also share what it's like to work with us. But we're very passionate about this stuff. And Jurgen is still rocking with us. Ooh, the comment facts would be considered rude. Well, uh-oh. Jurgen is fired up. What time is it over there? Oh, part of a previous remark. Okay, I must have missed that one. Thank you all for watching. Ooh, okay, so the men are coming through with the feminine asset. I'm behind in the chat. So the Clue channel says, "Ladies, being a feminine asset means you're soft-spoken, with long hair, and a soft touch." Well, ladies, I'm going to tell you, men like hair. I don't know what this shaved thing on the side is. Do what you want to do, but men like hair. They just do. Why? I don't know. They do. And if you want to say, well, it's my head, I'm going to give you the Maggie quote. That's an option. Killer says, hi, I'm such a woo. I would never ask a man on a date. Yeah, so ladies, so we're asking the men, what is a feminine asset? I want to ask the ladies, would you ever ask a man on a date? Dorika says, nope, don't shoot your shot, ladies. Send him choosing signals. If he doesn't notice it, leave it alone. And another thing you can do, ladies, give you another tip. If he's like really busy with work or whatever, use your network. Ask around. Does he have a girlfriend? Is he single? You can let him know, if he were to ask, the answer would be yes. Like, use your brain power for more than just these dance steps and housewives shows, ladies. You know how to make it work. The Clue Channel says if she gives choosing signals, a man should make the first move. Thank you. What does Big Ben say? Feminine women will send choosing signals to the men they're interested in. Then if the man is interested, he will respond. I see a theme here. Dear Philip says if he's interested, she won't have to ask him out. She needs to focus on being inviting and available. I love this. Kamikaze's laughing at me. Hashtag Maggie talks too much. Okay, I'm sorry I'm not reading in real time. Whew, tough crowd tonight. Tara says, my husband says a feminine asset to him is being able to look at a situation and enhance it without him saying something, it giving directive. I'm not sure if I understand. Do you understand, Lucy?
I'm thinking that maybe look at a situation and enhance it without being so direct, kind of like being the soft spoken when he says something, and he would ask you and you would say, yeah, I see it a little differently. This is what I think. And then that's like soft spoken side that is not like, no, she needs to do this and that. That doesn't work. If he asks for your input, then you're gonna say, well, this is how I see it, and that's not a directive. That's just he's asking for your perspective.
I love that. And Clue loves your story. Miss Crotty Shetty says wonderful. The Clue Channel likes the compliment sandwich, me likey. I'm glad. Hey, y'all, I had to learn too. I used to come through the house barking orders. Ugh, it doesn't work, ladies, believe me. Lisa says, I had a friend a couple of years ago who told me she told a man she was interested in how she felt about him. She explained that she had feelings for him. I was dying. FYI, it didn't work out well. Yeah. Gately. Mrs. Crotty Shetty says exactly. He'll be the same way in the relationship. Ladies, yeah, you finish how you start. And if you get him comfortable with laying back and letting you handle everything, a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, you'll be handling everything. Yes. Tarika says, well, I forgot. I know I'm all late, right, Jurgen? Y'all like the gems? I'm glad. Isaiah says, it may be the previous lady was not wife material. It's not always the man, in my opinion, but if a lady knows she wants to be a wife, she won't waste 10 years. I agree. I'm glad you all concur. Killa says, watch his actions. Even if he says what you want to hear, don't believe it until he acts on it. I need a mic to drop. Ladies, people can say everything, anything. Dorika agrees.
That should be a clear indication that he's just not walking the walk. He's a talker, but what he's doing completely does not match what he's saying he's going to do. So that should be a clear one of those flags. It's not matching. Why is this happening? And it's not like it happens just once. It's a repeated pattern, and that's where, as a smart woman, as an intelligent woman, you say, yeah, this is not working out for me.
Well said. Isaiah is saying the degree is not the problem, it's the programming, the I don't need no man program. Yes, and ladies, here's the thing. And again, bachelor's degree, MBA, certification, all of that. But just know that all of those degrees and all of that education, it's great. But two things, it is setting you up to be part of the workforce, which is fine if that's what you want to do until 65. A lot of times, what I realize is, ladies, I remember that gusto that I had when I was young, but trust me, you get in your 30s and 40s, you're going to naturally start to slow down. So just be mindful of that and make sure that you're prioritizing what you want life to look like when you're 40, 50, and 60. So many women just focus on that singular thing, and then they have no relationship skills. They can't have a conversation. They're socially awkward. They don't have any real dating experience. And it's like, what do you want a man to do with that? I'm going to tell you like mine tells me. I'm going to need you to be ready right now. So you're not going to have the luxury of time or a learning curve. So you need to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. So if you are going to do the degree thing, which is great, my mom has a PhD. I'm a PhD. Both of my parents do, but she cooks and serves the family every day. So I just, you got to choose. What do you say about that programming, Lucy?
I agree. I think that unfortunately in universities, I call them program, what is it? Indoctrination factories, because they are sharing these ideas. And if you notice, the percentage of people that are attending those universities is women. So they're in their little silos of the same information over and over again. And that's kind of like a brainwashing. They hear the same information, they hear the misogyny and the matriarchy, and they hear all of these things. Trust me, I hear it from my nieces. And the dinner table, it gets a little tricky because, again, you gotta be nice, but you also have to snap them out of it, because that's not the way the world works. But it's kind of like indoctrination, and unfortunately those are young brains that they're sponges. They're soaking it up. And if all they see is what they should see in the university, they're going to go living real life in it's kind of like a dichotomy. They hear this in the university, but then they come to real life, and it's different. And that's why they're having young men and women are having a really hard time connecting, because young men, they do not change. They stay the same from pretty much beginning to end. Whereas we women, we come in after all that indoctrination, and we start throwing all of these things. The men want to be married. They want to do whatever they want to do on their own, and then they get to 35, 40, wanting that man that wanted them when they were ready to be able to be good mothers, good wives, and so forth. So yeah, they're indoctrination factories. Sorry. I got into my what is it, soapbox.
Your soapbox, it's okay. I had my Maggie talks too much rant earlier. It's totally fine. Gillis, Lisa says, Gillis, it was very brave. Oh, Gillis said, Lisa, she was brave, talking about your friend with the 10 years, but very humiliating. She's outspoken and impatient. Yeah, ladies, I mean, we all have a story. Just don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be like, oh, I hate that I did that. Killa says, oh man, I hope she's okay with it now. All right, let's see if there's, are we on time?
He's
Okay.
circling dinner. It's dinner
All
time.
right. Well, in that case, if we didn't get to the comments, I'm so sorry, you all. We're going to go ahead and dismiss so Lucy can take care of her family. Links are all in the description. We will be back. Please continue to share. And ladies, if you're interested in the finishing school, enrollment is open. Anything to close us out, ladies? Lucy?
Maggie Lou, Lady Lou. No, I love these weekly meetups, and you've asked, the chat had really good questions, excellent comments, and again, if you want to know what men want, listen to what they're telling you, because they are telling you what they want.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. If we missed it, we'll get to you next time. Please come back. We'll see you next Wednesday. Until then, we will go ahead and dismiss and let you all have a good night. Goodbye, everyone.
Adios.
Adios.